WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Good evening, everyone. We began tonight with breaking news out of Tupelo as police and prosecutors confirmed the ongoing investigation of a Tupelo High School faculty member. WCBI has learned witnesses and others are being interviewed after a claim was made by an improper relationship between the educator and a student. Prosecutors say they are waiting on the results of the initial investigation before they make a request for a probable cause hearing. Now, under Mississippi law, educators and law enforcement officers cannot be arrested before a judge determines if there is enough evidence to support the charges. If the hearing is warranted, it could come this week. Now, the names of the accused are not released until they are charged. WCBI has reached out to the Tupelo School District, and just moments ago into our newsroom, we received a statement from the Tupelo School District, and it reads, I'll just read it as it was given to us verbatim. We have referred this matter to local law enforcement authorities who are conducting an investigation involving a Tupelo High School teacher. Due to applicable privacy laws, we are prohibited from disclosing non-public personnel matters. Our number one priority is a safe learning environment for all of our students. This comes from the Tupelo School District Director of Communications, Greg Ellis. We, of course, will continue to follow the story and bring you the very latest as information comes into our newsroom. A Columbus man will get a new trial for a 2013 murder. Derek Nelson had his conviction thrown out today by the Mississippi Court of Appeals. Nelson was convicted in 2016 for killing his mother's boyfriend at a graduation party in 2013. During his trial, Nelson argued that he shot in self-defense, but jurors were told they could not consider that theory during deliberations. The ruling says evidence supported the murder charge, but an equal amount of evidence could have led jurors ruling self-defense. The case will now be returned to Lowndes County for further action. Oxford police released pictures of the suspect in an attempted kidnapping. Now, these are images. They're grainy, but this is the man wanted for questioning in the attack following the Ole Miss-Auburn football game back on October the 20th. The attack took place on Van Buren Avenue near South 5th Street. The victim apparently fought off the attacker and ran to a nearby residence to call 911. The suspect fled into Gertrude Ford Center parking lot and drove away in a newer model Nissan Maxima. If you think you recognize the man in these images, please call Crime Stoppers. They're offering a $5,000 reward for any information. Well, Election Day just 1 week away, and while candidates continue to ask for your vote, the workers behind the scenes are getting ready to make sure things run smoothly next week. Circuit clerks are already busy with what they tell us is an increase in this year's absentee ballots. Our Riley Livingston joins us in the studio now with more on that.
Andrea, sometimes you just can't get to the polls. Travel for work, health problems, and military deployment are just a few of the reasons some voters choose to vote absentee. It takes a little extra effort, but election workers are really seeing voters make the time.
For some voters, making it to the polls next Tuesday just isn't possible. Instead, they vote early with an absentee ballot. And this year, there are more people casting that early ballot than usual.
It's going really well. I would say we have about triple what we had in June. We had about 40 some odd absentee ballots. Of course, we're a small county, but we have about 124 right now.
And it's not just the primary seeing a boost.
4 years ago, we had the same election. Every 4 years, we have these this particular type of election. And we had a little over 300 absentee voters 4 years ago, and we're topping 900 right now. And we still have a week to go.
In Oktibbeha County, Deputy Election Clerk Cheryl Elmore has seen her share of elections. She says local interest is driving the vote.
I feel a lot of that is from the Chancery Court race. We've always had the Chancery judges that have been there forever and never had opposition, so we never had people running against them. And now they all retired at the same time. And so now that is open. We have 5 candidates in 14-1 and 2 candidates in 14-3, and that's a lot of interest there. So that's brought a lot of people out.
Every day we have probably 8 to 10 people coming in, which is, like I said, unusual for our county, but we're just glad people are getting out and voting.
Webster County Circuit Clerk Sherry Henderson says the busiest day is still to come.
Usually the last Saturday before the election does bring out those few that something has come up at last minute. So yeah, we look to see more people come out Saturday.
Saturday is the last day to cast an absentee ballot. The votes will then be counted after the polls close on November 6th.
All right, Riley in the studio with that story. Time now to turn our attention to weather. Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson standing by with a first look at our forecast.
Andrea, fabulous day. That's what it was. It's still a fabulous evening out there. A live view from downtown Louisville, Mississippi. We've got some 70s and some upper 60s right now. A quiet evening here for our Tuesday. And notice the clouds coming on in. You saw that with our SkyCam network. Higher clouds streaming on in. That cold front back to the west will give rise to some storms tomorrow night. But for this evening tonight, around 60, variably cloudy. Our forecast for tomorrow, 70s to around 80. Most of the day will be dry. We are looking at some spooky storms tomorrow night. Your full forecast coming up.
Well, speaking of the spookiness, we are approaching All Hallows Eve. Children throughout the area will be gearing up to dress like little ghosts and goblins. But it's also a time when many believe the border between the physical and the spiritual worlds become blurred. Our Victoria Bailey spent the day visiting some places that have had reports of paranormal activity. She's joining us now live from Friendship Cemetery, just one stop on the haunted tour. Victoria?
Cemetery, I'm told that the ghost of a Confederate soldier still roams these grounds above the grave today. Now, I hope that we don't encounter him, but I do know that I saw for myself that this is just one of the haunted places in our area.
Halloween's just a good time to remember the old stories.
But for the Golden Triangle area, the stories derive from facts. I set out this morning to take a look at what paranormal activities have been recorded in our area, and the first stop was Waverly Mansion.
The story is that a little girl was visiting this house with her mother, and they ended up spending the night, and the little girl had an accident. She got out of bed, ran up one of the staircases. Apparently she fell down the staircase and broke her neck. People say that in the Red Room they can hear her crying, "Mama, Mama." Others say that she climbs into the bed up there and leaves the imprint of her little body.
Waverly Mansion at one point was a 2,000-acre cotton plantation built in 1840. The next stop was right up the street in the murky waters of a well-known river.
The Tombigbee River. There was a steamboat landing there, and there are all sorts of ghost stories that deal with steamboats on the Tombigbee. And there at the bridge was known because many people drowned there in the 1800s.
The last location took us 4 miles north of Columbus to where Ward calls the oldest ghost story in the area, dating back to 1818.
On the Black Creek Bridge on the old military road, 3 soldiers helping build the military road, and the creek behind us was flooded, and they were ordered to cross the creek, and they drowned. And from that date on, it was said that 10 feet up in the air, about the height of the roadbed here, you would see these soldiers riding black horses on stormy nights, riding down the road, trying to get out of the flooded creek.
History.com reports since ancient times, ghost stories have been a part of human culture. But if it's so scary, what keeps folks flocking to the actual haunted houses?
The fun thing about stories like this is they send chills down your spine, but they're based on fact. There's a grain of truth in them.
Now, in an article released in 2010 called The Southern Spirit Guide to Ghost Hauntings of the American South, Columbus is documented as the best documented city in the state as far as ghost hauntings. In Friendship Cemetery, I'm Victoria Bailey for WCBI News.
All right, now that we've got you all scared, here's some fun ahead for Halloween. We'll go live to Itawamba County when we come back. Welcome back, everyone. It is a night for pirates, princesses, and scary little monsters in downtown Fulton. Allie Martin joins us live. He's in the middle of all the fun. He has the latest.
All right, we are here in downtown Fulton. There are hundreds of kids out here, and look at here. I've got Fulton Mayor Childers with me, but today he is Indian Chief Sits-A-Lot. That's your name today, right?
Yeah, I see it. I see it. That's mine.
You've got some helpers here from the county. These are the supervisors, but they've got Snow White and the 7 dwarfs, the supervisors.
Yeah, that's Snow White and that's the 7 dwarfs.
We can't make this up.
No,
All right, so Scare on the Square. What is that, Mayor, Chief? What is it?
It's a giant Halloween party for all the kids in Etowah County and everywhere to come out.
Young at heart.
And young at heart. And we got a lot of young at heart, you can tell.
And you got different businesses and churches. They have booths set up, and the kids are going by and getting food and candy and goodies, right?
That's right. This is the biggest one we've had, too. We have a big one every year, but this is the biggest one we've ever had.
Now, this goes until about 7 or so, and then there's a movie in the park, and y'all's really, really nice park behind us.
Yes, it is. Scooby-Doo. We're going to play Scooby-Doo for all the kids.
Very good. So no city council meeting tonight or alderman meeting tonight. Y'all are just having fun out here. This is just a great way for people to come out and really enjoy this, the small town vibe, isn't it?
Good fellowship. That's what it is.
All right. And you can come out and see the 7 dwarfs. All right. We're going to send it back to you in the studio. I'm going to go get some candy. All right. Let's go get some candy, Chief. How about that?
All right, Allie, it looks like you're having a good time up here in Fulton right now. A live view from Vernon, Alabama, Durham's Pharmacy. Not too bad of a night developing. We got lows down to around 60. Quiet tonight, stormy late tomorrow night into our Thursday morning. Details on that are next. Stay tuned.
WCBI First Alert Accuweather Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Great to see everybody here tonight. This is our Health Insurance Time Lapse from downtown Tupelo. You can see the setting sun here this evening. Some of those wispy high cirrus clouds coming on in. A great picture here just got in via Twitter from Sullivan, Alabama. You can see the setting sun there in Lamar County. What a great Tuesday we had. Low 80s in most spots, still quite mild, 70s and still some low 80s, but more in the way of 70s than anything else across the Twin States. But we look upstream, high clouds coming on in. And then the energy back to the west. It's snowing in the Mile High City right now, snowing, but we will not have to contend with that. Tomorrow for trick-or-treating about this time, temperature should be in the 70s, a few passing showers possible. It will be a bit breezy. It doesn't look to be too bad for trick-or-treating. Breezy and mild for our Halloween. Trick-or-treating looks okay, as we just mentioned. Strong storms possible late tomorrow evening and Thursday morning. Rain the main threat here, and some gusty wind, maybe 1 to 3 inches or more of rain here. Some damaging wind potential with this line of storms. The tornado threat is low, not zero, so we will be in what we call full-fledged babysit mode tomorrow night and Thursday morning. The hail threat continues to look pretty low at this time. Let's plan it out with Futurecast tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. Clouds will tend to fill back in late tonight, so we will likely see more clouds around here tomorrow. Temperatures will warm into the 70s to around 80 in most spots during the day. Some passing showers from time to time here, but most of the energy holds back to the west until late in the evening, and then tomorrow night, probably after midnight, we'll have a strong line of storms come on through. This is just one model solution. This takes it out of here by sunrise. That could hold back a little bit depending on how things evolve. That will be the heaviest activity with some lingering showers into our Thursday afternoon. Rain potential, again, 1 to 3 inches of rain here locally and a good swath across Mississippi and Alabama. Now, I cleaned my gutters this morning. You may want to do this. This is how it looked before. This is how it looked after. So you may want to do this before this heavy rain comes on in here. We're going to go with a 100% chance of rain on Thursday. Again, tomorrow stuff, pretty sporadic, but a pretty good chance for some rain Thursday. As we get into Monday and Tuesday of next week, maybe another pretty aggressive system. This jet stream segment number 1, that will give us a good chance for storms tomorrow, and then maybe another one as we get into next week. Here's your AccuWeather 7-day forecast. You can see 80 tomorrow, down to 70 on Thursday, 59, a cool day for Friday, some showers possible. Mid-60s Saturday. Don't forget about the time change on Sunday, and we may see some more aggressive weather early next week. Here's your forecast. Sports is coming up next.
WCBI Sports with Tom Ebel is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
Just moments ago, the first college football playoff polls have been released. Mississippi State coming in at 18th in the first CFP playoff polls. The top 4 at this point being Notre Dame at 4, LSU at 3, Clemson at 2, and Alabama at 1. We'll have much more from the first college football playoff polls of the 2018 season coming up for you at 10 on WCBI Sports. Switching gears to college basketball. Coming off the NIT run from a year ago, Ben Howland and Mississippi State are poised to break out in 2018-2019. The Bulldogs begin the year inside the preseason top 25, picked 19th in the coaches poll, 18th in the AP, and 4th in the SEC. The expectations are high coming into the season, and Ben Howland says a lot comes when all eyes are on you.
I think it's good notoriety for the program, and I think it's nice that people have high expectations for this team and this group, but you still have to go out and prove it, and you got to prove it every day in practice. You got to prove it through your preparation and through your work.
I'm excited about this season. I know we got a lot of high expectations about the season coming up, but I think our team been working really hard, so I think we'll be prepared.
We don't want to let the expectations, overwhelm us. We just want to stay true to who we are, play for each other, work hard, and everything else should take care of itself.
I keep working hard every single day. Just keep working hard because the expectations are going to be there, and we're going to have a target on our back this year.
I feel like they helped us get our confidence up for the next year. We're going to win at Louisville like that, and one of the toughest rings in the country. So I feel like that boosts our heads up, just to be like, we really can be good next year.
So taking a look at the NCAA preseason All-SEC women's basketball teams. Player of the year goes to Mississippi State's Tiara McCowan. In terms of preseason votes, she's been racking those in since the beginning of the offseason. And taking a look at how the first teams in our area roll out. Tiara McCowan at the first team. Texas A&M transfer Andriel Howard with the Bulldogs now. She was listed as first team All-SEC as well. And Ole Miss getting Chandrika Sessom back this year. She was listed as second team All-SEC. Of course, she was injured all of last season. It'll be a big boost for the Rebels in first year under Coach McQuinn. It's time to honor those that help to keep our TVs on when we watch football at home, and the big fellas up front that dominate the line of scrimmage. Time for our Lineman of the Week.
Tonight's Lineman of the Week is brought to you by Four County Electric Power Association.
Tonight's Lineman of the Week goes to Noxubee County's Johnny Mitchner. Johnny has 33 years of experience with Four County Electric Power Association. Big shout out to Johnny for keeping on the lights at home. But for the Noxubee County Tigers, here is WCBI's Lineman of the Week. That's Verdell Clemens, the anchor of that defensive line that has the Noxubee County Tigers as the 2 seed in the 4A playoffs. Noxubee County has given up just 7 points in its past 2 games. They've got 2 shutouts so far to their name this year. And hey, the offensive line had a pretty big part in that 46-7 win over New Hope this past Friday. Almost 500 yards of total offense. Noxubee County will host the first round of the 4A playoffs, taking on the New Albany Bulldogs this upcoming Friday. That's it for sports. The last secure forecast coming up next.
All right, here's another look at our Accuweather 7-day forecast. Still warm tomorrow, breezy. Most of the day is not going to be wet. It's going to be a warm one. You should be okay for trick-or-treating tomorrow night and Thursday morning. That's the big problem if we're going to see the heavy rain and those storms. We'll keep you updated on the latest timing tomorrow, though. Cool on Friday, even cooler for high school football.
All right, so you're going to be sitting here basically babysitting weather, so you're going as a meteorologist for Halloween.
Every year, especially this year.
That's the news at 6. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday evening.